Alright, so day 2 of 31 Days of Horror, I will be reviewing Stage Fright from 2014. And there are a couple different movies called Stage Fright, a couple different horror movies called Stage Fright that I have seen. There's one from the 50s, I think 1950s specifically, by Alfred Hitchcock, which I've seen before. Remember nothing about it. And then there's an Italian horror film from 1987 called Stage Fright as well, which I have seen as well. That one's pretty awesome. But we're here to talk about the 2014 one, just in case there's any confusion. That's the one we're going to talk about today. Now, for what I saw in the description for this for IMDb, it's pretty accurate. A snobby musical theater camp is terrorized by a bloodthirsty killer who hates musical theater. I think that's great. That's a great synopsis on IMDb. It's got a 5.2 on IMDb, which I think is a little too low. I'd honestly go for a 6.5, 6.7 kind of thing. But that's basically the plot, is this summer camp for people who love to sing, and a killer's going around because he hates their music. I think that's really fun. And actually, I was surprised. I didn't expect this to be, because the other two Stage Frights were not like this, I didn't expect this to be a musical either, which I thought was cool, because it just changed it up. I'm going to go into slight spoilers here for the beginning of the movie. I won't spoil the ending or anything, but I'll spoil the beginning, because I feel like it has to be said. You've got Minnie Driver in this movie, who is great. Great seeing Minnie Driver in this. That's awesome. And she gets killed, like, immediately, like, in the movie, and it is brutal and gross. She, like, gets stabbed through the throat, like, 3 times, and then through the mouth, and it's really good effect. It's really cool just how gross and gnarly it is. But it's great seeing Minnie Driver. I do like her as an actress. I'm glad to see her back in something, because I haven't seen her do anything in a while. Even though this came out in 2014, and also she probably did other stuff I just didn't know about, I'm just glad to see her in a movie. This also stars Meatloaf as well, who does a good job in this as well. And he passed away last year. R.I.P. I believe it was last year. And of course this was way before that, but I really thought he was good as well. He was really interesting and fun, and he didn't play the role I expected. I expected him to be over the top, but he was the serious, like, straight guy kind of person in charge. So I like that. And then the main girl is played by Ally McDonald, who I don't really know. I think she's been in some stuff, but I don't really know what she's been in. Like I said, this is a straight-up musical, like Anna and the Apocalypse, which is a movie that I also enjoyed. I was genuinely surprised. The music is pretty funny, because it's of course making fun of the music. There's a song where this guy, who is the audience you would assume is gay, because he's singing about just singing like in feminine way, but then he sings like that he's not gay, but he loves girls, and he gets off by this music. But then there's another guy who starts singing, saying, "I'm really gay, and I'm really, really into guys." And it's a funny back and forth with that song. And the music is pretty funny, especially with the killer as well, doing his crazy songs, because his songs are like death metal, and then they're the opposite, like where he kind of is screaming like just random stuff. And I thought that was funny, and a good difference between both. And the killer outfit is interesting, because it's is it kabuki? Is that what it's called? Like some kind of Asian thing where like the mask looks like that. And again, I'm sounding very uncultured, but it's a kabuki mask, I believe. The killer outfit was cool, so I like that. The killer's cool and funny, because the killer just says a lot of silly lines. I thought the end of the movie, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but the killer reveal was kind of whatever. It wasn't anything super special to me, but then it kind of got okay. But then I also thought, well, this is just becoming My Bloody Valentine, and I don't know if that really spoils the end. It's not exactly the same as that movie, but it just reminded me of something that happened in that movie versus this one. So I thought that was interesting, the ending. Like, I didn't love the killer reveal. I thought it was whatever. but it was fine. Really the movie was more about like the silliness of it than the killer reveal in my eyes. Like I said, the gore's good. Mini Driver, great kill. Really brutal just to see that. There's a kill where a person gets their foot impaled, and it's gross and nasty. There's one person who gets sawed where their intestines fly out. That was really hilarious. Also, the camp is, I think, the same name as in Friday the 13th, but also these characters remind me of characters from Sleepaway Camp. These characters who are over the top and silly, and Sleepaway Camp is just the one I go to automatically because that one's amazing. Love Sleepaway Camp. But the characters are quirky, like in Sleepaway Camp. The camp looks like Friday the 13th. The kid with the lisp is an example of a character I think of when I think of the Sleepaway Camp movies. And it does have other horror references, but those are the big, obvious ones that I noticed. But really, at the end of the day, I thought this one was totally fine. It had some good moments. I thought it had some good humor. I thought, while it didn't have like a great killer reveal, the movie was still fun enough that I was like, it's good. It's totally solid. It's definitely not one I'm going to rewatch much, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So, yeah, pretty much all I could say about Stage Fright from 2014. And stay tuned for the next 31 Days of Horror. See you guys later. Take care.